Long ago, in the far-flung year of 2016, a hobbyist decided that he wanted to build model kits and share his passion with those that may have never built a model kit before. He would go on to become an esteemed internet personality with a YouTube channel, Twitch stream, and Discord server. Apparently not satisfied with his position, he took on an ambitious project. Build 2 real-grade Gundam plastic model kits and customize them in celebration of the greatest rivalry in motorsports history. Evidently, this made the plastic model gods very angry, and for his hubris, he was banished to a special kind of hell, forced to paint real-grade Gundam plastic model kits and their frames by hand for the rest of eternity. This just kind of slips in here. Well, not like that, it doesn't. Shit, come on. Slide parts inward until it reaches the dotted line. Okay. Wait. What? Go in the fucking... We're not gonna get frustrated. Everything's fine. Fucking headpiece, stay on. Why can't I get this fucking backpack on? Yeah, I'm gonna need to do a lot of touch up on this. The customization of the real grade Gundam Unicorn was an exercise in diminishing returns. To achieve the legendary orange and sky blue color scheme found on Ford's classic Le Mans racers, not the one that first won at Le Mans, mind you, but damn if it isn't classic, I thought it would be a good idea to paint the pink inner frame of the Unicorn with Tamiya clear yellow, thus turning it orange. This started the painting journey smoothly enough, and the effect worked pretty well, if a bit darker than I would have liked. The Vallejo Mecha Sky Blue that I used for the white armor made for a great satin finish, but I consistently had problems getting the paint to thin at the right ratio for hand brushing, leaving the armor more than a bit rough around the edges. The armor also covers the inner frame, which means yet another real grade transformation. What could possibly go wrong?
One of the easiest transformation gimmicks, so...
Jason,
we're thinking...
you have a bad expectation of how the RG transformation is because you built the Zeta. It's okay.
Because you built
this
the Zeta.
isn't as bad.
PTSD.
There we go. Comes off a lot easier, and the head just pops clean off. Beautiful. The back piece, which I do... Wait a minute. Am I missing a piece? Then it wants me to... Wait. What the fuck? So you just pull these apart. This shouldn't be this hard. I know how interesting this is for all of you. Alright, so I'll just open these flaps up, and then we'll pull it out and just turn it around. Easy enough. Easy! Easy transform.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
That 2 minutes.
God damn it! God, how much of this kit did I fuck up? Jesus Christ! Zaki42, you're probably right. I painted it as well as cut out all the parts beforehand, lengthening the build process. This experience isn't the standard RG Unicorn fare. Yes, I accept it. It's all my fault, okay? I'm sorry, I'm fucking terrible as a builder. Jesus Christ. Why
Jason, how dare
you?
How dare you have a
Jason,
differing opinion?
Try pushing down on the very bottom of the codpiece.
That's what I'm trying to do, but I can't get a fucking grip on it, so I was looking for my part separator, but I can't find that either.
Just push down on it.
Firmly grasp it.
Dude, get a grip.
Okay, there we go. This was probably the thinking of Henry Ford II the first time he encountered his rival Enzo Ferrari on their sacred battleground, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The year is 1964, and Ford is ready to put a full year of research and development, not to mention a small fortune from the family vault, to work with their brand new Ford GT40. Just 40 inches tall, powered by a 4.2-liter aluminum block V8 pumping 350 horsepower to the drivetrain, 30 more than their main rival, Ferrari's 250 LM. That might not seem like much for a world-beating race car, but with weighing a diminutive 1.2 tons, the machine was still capable of laying down 210 miles an hour on the tarmac, 30 more, once again, than the Ferrari. Ford's approach was one of brute force, hoping to pummel the Ferraris that dominated Circuit de la Sarthe at the time. 3 of these GT40s would be entered in that year's race in Detroit's quest to beat Maranello, which went well. All 3 GT40s failed to finish the race, 2 due to gearbox failure, and 1 catching fire. Ford had next to no experience in endurance racing by this point, and in these races, raw speed is not nearly as important as consistency. Making a car run for 24 hours is hard by itself, let alone making it go fast. Who knew? Evidently, not Ford. So what about the Unicorn as a kit? It's fine? And notably, not on fire. Look, it's a unicorn, needlessly complicated, and your enjoyment lies solely in how invested you are in the design. The Bitcoin mining rig of the Gundam family, if you will. Public perception is that this is one of the best real grades on the market, if a bit on the pricier end. And if I didn't botch the paint job, cut and clean all the parts prior to assembly, and have to transform the thing with its joints covered in acrylic, I would probably think the same thing. I fully acknowledge that the shortcomings I found with this kit were all self-inflicted. So it wouldn't really be fair for me to talk about my experiences with it, which largely consisted of screaming. It's a good thing then, that there's a newer version that I can talk about instead. The prototype full Psycho Frame mobile suit RX-0 bracket N close bracket Unicorn Gundam 02 Banshee Norn. I think it's better looking than the Unicorn, and with its upgraded armaments, it fights better as well. An Obsidian 48-ton Gundarium alloy powerhouse with more glowing bits than a Cybergoth's wardrobe. The original Banshee, piloted by Miss Marita Cruz, as well as the upgraded Norn, includes an NTD, or New Type Destroyer system, much like the Unicorn. New types, for the uninitiated, are basically humans that are not unlike your high school friend Alex, with an I. Alex isn't going through her Wiccan phase anymore, but insists that she can see auras and sense crystal energy. And you humor her every now and again by letting her do a tarot reading, cause hey, it's not harming anybody. And who knows, maybe you'll get to make out with her again after school because you're a teenager and you're not too worried about girls getting too clingy yet. What was I talking about? The Banshee is really good at killing said new types, as long as it has a new type pilot who's willing to go full blade and kill their own kind. The Norn variation, however, doesn't have this design flaw. Unlike the new Gundam its technology is derived from, the extra flashy bits on the Norn variation aren't just for show. When Bermuda Hijinks decided to fight instead of protect Best Girl like the incompetent hack that he is, the suit was then transferred to Ensign Riddy Marcinus. Marcinus? One of those two, probably. Instead of, say, someone with any rank other than second lowest in the Navy. Because he's not a new type, they stuck a giant slab of glowing bits to its back, called the Armed Armor XC, which allows non-new type pilots to activate the NTD system of the suit with their normal brains. As a kit, the Norn looks great, doing well to highlight both the best and worst of real grade design. Real grades allow for a ton of detail, as is evident with the extra translucent parts in the Armed Armor backpack, for example. Additionally, many of the inner frame parts are more vibrant than its Unicorn counterpart, and transforms fairly easily. Even for me, who always transforms real grade kits without issue or mental breakdown. There is one major glaring flaw, however. one that permeates through much of the real grade line. Actually, about 65 of them. The same year Ford and Company would give Le Mans another go. Henry Ford the sequel didn't give up on his failed merger temper tantrum in 1965 either, throwing more money at the problem at Le Mans than was probably necessary, considering that 11 Ford or Ford Power cars were entered into that year's 24-hour race. Enzo Ferrari responded to the move by entering 12, including the all-new P2. The most powerful of the P2s topped out at 410 horsepower, firing to the wheels from 12 cylinders. The Italians had come back to Le Mans with something special, but Ford wasn't about to let this petty game of one-upsmanship end. They came to play with the all-new GT40 Mark II. After Lola, the company responsible for designing the first GT40s, and Ford parted ways, the racing division shifted to Shelby American. Yeah, that Shelby. And with it came Shelby's mantra: add more raw power until you fix the damn problem. An absurd, even by today's standards, 7-liter NASCAR engine was bolted into the Mark II, generating 450 horsepower. 2 cars of this spec would race in Le Mans along with other Ford vehicles of different specifications. These 2 weren't the only ones getting in on the action either. The race saw 42 entries from manufacturers' in-house or works teams, like Porsche and Alpine. Previously, these races would mainly consist of privateers. But all eyes were on Ferrari and Ford, as the flag dropped and the GT40 streaked off under the green flag. Which went well.
After 2 hours, the Ford of Bruce McLaren is still in the lead, but driving with only 1 gear working. And behind him is a pack of 5 Ferraris.
No GT40s of any spec finished the race, due to anything from gasket, gearbox, and clutch problems. Ferrari went on to win the race for the 6th straight time, the race now showing less parity than professional basketball. Ford was back to the drawing board once again, doubling down on the massive amount of money they pumped into becoming a legit contender. Perhaps Bandai, now more than ever, could learn a bit from Ford's less than frugal nature. The sticker sheet that Bandai insists on using on these things is still very cheap, and their edges are even more noticeable on dark kits like the Banshee. This kit is even darker in color than the real grade Mark II Titans, so you will always see these stickers as just stickers, even from far away. Now, you might be thinking, well, yeah, it's a model kit, of course you're gonna have stickers. Well, mister, I've never built a real grade before. A model kit is seen as a culmination of the work the modeler puts in. You could say it's only as good as its weakest point. You'll always notice paint streaks, numb marks, and poor life choices like that damn core block on the full burner, but those things can be fixed with things like touch-up paint, sanding, and bi-weekly blood sacrifices. It's not that hard. You can't fix a cheap sticker sheet. Not really. So unless you hunt around for an aftermarket water slide sheet, this is what you get. And you're gonna like it. Except you're not, because it looks like ass. It's become clear that the Gunpla Evolution project Bandai has been hyping over the last year is more a marketing ploy for gimmicks that were coming anyway than a true experiment in improved model-making design. And it's a shame, because as far as kits go, both variants of the Unicorn have some of the best features on the market. Sure, the proportions are a little funny in some places, but the transformation gimmicks are actually really good. And thankfully simpler than kits like the Real Grade Zeta and Master Grade Victory 2. Not that there's a problem with either of those, by the way. They're fine. Everything's fine. Posability is staggering with firm joints that allow for precise motions, even when your kit isn't slathered in acrylic. And let's face it, the Banshee's contrasting obsidian and gold color scheme looks amazing when compared to the peppermint scheme of the Unicorn. So I'll take the Banshee over the Unicorn any day, even if the stickers are so much more noticeable. Where the Sinanju is grace and glory, the Unicorn is the king of excess. And much like Ford, it took a couple tries for the designers to get it right. If you like the design, I can't recommend them enough, even if my feelings on their overall look are lukewarm at best. Pick up either kit as your next Badgunpla, because trust me, you won't regret it. I mean, I am trustworthy, right? It's not like I would ever say that a kit is great and forget how finicky the hands are after I already put the video out and how the shield pops off every time you move it. Why would I ever do such a thing? Oh, god damn it! I'll see you next time.